let's get into it. This is Master Shaka with Master Shaka's Movie Reviews. And the movie for this week, The American Society of Magical Negroes. Running time, 1 hour, 7 minutes. 2024 comedy fantasy. This is one of those unique times when I just couldn't believe they made a movie like this. It seemed so controversial. My first initial instinct was to be triggered. I didn't like the concept. But the more I watched, the more I identified with this narrative. I had to realize this was a satire. This movie had a message. And this was the way they decided to deliver it. The movie isn't a Hollywood blockbuster. It's a small budget movie. More like an after school movie for TV. Alright, let's map out this movie. The movie opens with a young guy at an art show. He's selling some kind of hideous art. You realize he's an artist, but not a very good one. It pained me to see this poor guy walking through an arts exhibition so hypersensitive to white people. At this point in time, realization hit me hard. I realized that sometimes I feel the same way he did. Okay, back to the story. His art was the only one that didn't get sold. So he leaves the exhibition sad and dejected. I feel for the guy, He walks down the street to an ATM machine to take out money. He realizes he only has $17 because he spent all his money on yarn for his art. He turns to leave, but a drunk woman walks up behind him at the ATM machine. And she can't figure out how to use it. She asks him for help. She hands him her purse and gives him her PIN number. He tries to tell her, just don't hand out your PIN number to strangers. All of a sudden, she starts screaming, somebody has stolen my debit card. And she looks at him holding her purse and says, hey, you stole my purse. Her boyfriend hears the screaming, runs down the street to protect her. She tells her boyfriend that someone stole her debit card and her purse. They look over at our hero. The boyfriend decides he's gonna kick this guy's butt. Before anything can happen, an older black gentleman walks up and says, hey, can I help you? They tell him that our hero had stolen her purse. But they look again and they see the purse is on the woman's shoulder. And they say, oh, sorry, bro. No hard feelings? Our hero says, oh, no worries. The older gentleman asks our hero if he wants to go get drinks. So they go to the bar and they talk. The gentleman asks him, hey, do you want a job? The kid says, hey, what kind of job? The gentleman tells him, better if I show you. The gentleman asks the kid, hey, you have any medical conditions? The kid says, no. The older gentleman puts his hands on the kid and they teleport. The kid and the old man end up at a barbershop. The poor kid is freaking out. He can't believe just what just happened, that he'd been teleported. You can tell the kid can't believe what's going on. He's disoriented and in denial. The barber and the gentleman nod at each other, but the barber seems to have a little hostile energy towards the gentleman. The gentleman shows him his pocket watch, and the barber nods and clicks a secret switch. The back panel of the barbershop opens up, and you could see a secret passageway. At this point, the kid is losing it. He's out of his mind. But he goes through the passageway anyway. And this is where the kid learns about the secret society of American magical Negroes. The kid doesn't think, this is for him at first, but he begins to warm up to the idea after a while, talking to some of the people in the society. To my audience, as I tell this story, realize I'm leaving out some of the things in the movie. I'm trying to save you from some spoilers and help you experience the movie at a higher level when you watch it. So bear with me. Let's talk a little bit more about the American Society of Magical Negroes. A magical Negro is a black supporting character who exists solely to serve the white protagonist storyline. The kid mentor asks him, "What's the most dangerous thing in the world?" Answer, white people when they're uncomfortable. The kid's mentor tells him they even have a device to tell them the comfort levels of white people. It's called a white tears meter. The kid, completely on board now, works hard and passes all of his tests and gets his pocket watch and becomes an official member of the American Society of Magical Negroes. The kid believes the name of the society should be American Society of Magical Black People. But everybody in the society just ignores him. The time arrives for our hero to get his first client. His first day, the kid oversleeps, but his pocket watch goes off and it wakes him up, and he's wondering, what is that? And he realizes it's his pocket watch. He opens the pocket watch, and his mentor is asking him, "Where are you?" The kid tells him, okay, I'm on my way. The kid decides he's going to go to a coffee shop so he can wake up and buy some coffee. While at the coffee shop, he runs into a beautiful woman, literally spilling coffee all over the place. He asks her, "Can I buy you a coffee?" She agrees. There's more to this conversation, but I'm going to leave it out. But essentially, they click as a couple. All of a sudden, the kid's pocket watch goes off again. He realizes it's his mentor, and he tells the woman, "I gotta go." The woman gets a little upset because he never bought her coffee. Finally, our hero arrives at his new job and meets his new client. The relationship between our hero and his client is a little prickly at first. But all of a sudden, the woman from the coffee shop walks up to talk to his client. And our hero, he gets all happy because he realizes she works at the same company he just started with. As the days go by, they seem to bond even more, him and the woman. Just when everything seems like it's gonna go okay, someone throws a wrench in the machinery. In the process of helping his client, he mistakenly convinces him that the woman and the client make an amazing work team. But the client takes it a step further and lets our hero know he decides he's gonna ask her out and date her. Our hero's head explodes. Our hero is upset. He's livid. So after work, he goes to talk to his mentor and tell him that it's not fair. His mentor tells him that the same thing happened to him and that he has to let it go. He says, I even have her picture on my desk to remember her by. The kid is not having it. He's still upset. After this, the relationship between our hero and his client begins to falter even more. It's even more prickly. Man, this is the most intriguing perspective I've ever witnessed. This movie is tripping me out, man. This is crazy. Alright, back to the story. There is one downside to the society of magical Negroes. If someone uses their magical ability selfishly, the whole society loses their powers. If our hero takes this woman from his client, the society would lose their magical ability. And you know that's not going to go over good with the American Society of Magical Negroes. It doesn't matter that the client is racist, doesn't believe he's racist. He says racist things and has no clue he's being racist. Honestly, this guy is kind of a turd. He's a narcissist. Everything is all about him. He doesn't even see other people's perspectives. He doesn't even hear himself when he says, you people. Whew. This guy, whew, he's a number, man, I tell you. Side note, I'm also a life coach and I work with people exactly like this. If you tell someone that they did something racist, they become overly defensive. So the harder you push, the more upset they get. So you have to figure ways to gradually show them their racism and their bigotry. Reason why I know it's not a good thing to push too hard. It causes even more problem. I once had a client who believed my martial skills were at such a high level because my people have an extra bone in our foot. I told her that wasn't true. She didn't believe me. I didn't let it go, so I pushed it. And in the process of pushing, it caused her to become embarrassed because there was other people in the class. She felt silly after a while. She never came back. So that's my experience or one of my experiences, not pushing too hard. I just don't understand where some of these, I don't know, urban legends, maybe? Fables? Myths? I have no clue where they come from. Recently I had another client who believed my hair was like steel wool and he was afraid to touch it. It shocked me at first. The problem I had with him touching my hair was when I was I had long hair and people everywhere, they just want to touch it, pull it. They thought it was fake, that black people couldn't have long hair. But I let the guy touch it, and the look on his face when he said, "Oh my God, it's soft." Priceless. Alright, enough of that. Let's move back to the story. The older gentleman had an interesting story he told about his father. When the gentleman was a little boy, his father was a shoe shine guy. One day this guy walks up and spits on his father's head. At the time, he thought his father was gonna beat this guy up because he knew his father had a bad temper. But his father just smiled at the guy and went on about his business. The mentor was disgusted and totally disappointed in his father. So child mentor runs home to tell his mother or his grandmother, I can't remember. And she told him that as long as his father made it home, that was the only thing that counted. That was the most important thing. The mentor tells the kid that sometimes you just have to let go of your pride and think of the bigger picture. The kid doesn't think it's fair. He doesn't care. The client was racist, and he was a totally terrible human being. He doesn't deserve to get the girl. As a black male, I know about when you have to let go of your pride sometimes. I remember a similar time like the mentor's father. It happened to me. I was at the mall with my wife at the time, and we were shopping. When we were done shopping, we had to walk through the parking structure. But to get to our car, there's about 10 bikers. You could tell they were a biker gang. As we walked through, they said every racial slur you can think of, trying to set me off. But I had to remember, it just wasn't for me. I had to think about her, and I had to get us home safe. So I did the same thing. I just smiled and told them to have a good day. We got in the car and we drove off, and we were safe. So I understand that about the pride thing. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Man, as you can see, this definitely triggered me. I had all these similar things that happened to me. I know the movie, they're made up, but man, some of the stuff was so close to my life. It was amazing. I could see how I interjected my stuff into this movie review, which I do quite a bit anyway. But I'm not gonna tell any more of this story. I'm gonna stop there. Our hero has to make a big decision, and I'm not gonna tell you what he decided. You just have to see the movie. So it's about that time to run the numbers. And there you have average. I think it got an average because the storyline was so unique. Very rarely do I see a movie or a TV series that's completely unique. And that's what this was. Otherwise, it probably would have got a lower score. But being as unique as it is, our calculator factored that into it and gave it a higher score. Because the production quality really wasn't that high. The acting was good. It was okay. But that's where I'm going to end. On the lighter side, you know, I think Master Shaka's got some magical powers. What do you mean I don't have magical powers? You know, I think I'm going to turn you into a toad. Oh, sorry. Too late. You already a toad. Oh man, don't get all mad. Will you tell him it's just a joke? Let it go, dude, man. It's alright. You're gonna be alright. Alright, this is Master Shaka with Master Shaka's Movie Reviews. Until next time, be safe out there.